It's Wizard Wednesday. It's Wizard Wednesday. Black goat elf, Dotta puppet too. Bearsnake by the ocean blue. It's Wizard Wednesday. It's Wizard Wednesday. Kobolds and dream masters soar, putting their rune on the door. It's Wizard Wednesday forevermore. Wizard Wednesday, lore at the core. We are a cult with a world of our own, never forgotten or magic is known. It's Wizard Wednesday, it's Wizard Wednesday. Let's read from the book of lore, legendary wizards at the core. Don't get lost in the quantum shadow, abracadabra is our magical manifesto. Wednesday. Wednesday. Eat a donut, set your soul on fire. The sacred flame on a funeral pyre. The seventh gate with golden locks. The nightmare imp with a treat box. It's Wizard Wednesday. It's Wizard Wednesday.
Today is August 14th, 2024. Don't worry, we are safe from the DDoS attack we just experienced. It is still a good day to join a cult. It is Wizard Wednesday, channeling in from the Quantum Downs. This is the Black Goat of the Wood, Elf J Trul, and I've got a few friends on stage with me.
What's up? It's Bear. How we doing?
What up, Bear?
We also have some other close friends, peers, teammates with us. Who else is up here?
Entropy checking in. Hello, everybody.
Yellow. And Dotta is in Devland today. He is busy putting runes upon a spreadsheet.
Yeah, we call this Dev Dota. Dev Dota doesn't like talking to people unless it's absolutely necessary for his dev work, which I totally appreciate. Lots coming for next week, so he's working on that.
He's building, which implies that we have some fun stuff coming up very soon. So take that as you will. And we've got Ronan on stage with us. Hello, Ronan.
Good afternoon, or good morning, good evening, and good luck.
What up?
Time is a circle. It can be any one of those things at any time. But yeah, happy to have you here, Ronan.
Yeah, we're excited to be here. I mean, come on.
Hell yeah.
You announced the date. The date's live. We're ready to... I mean, unfortunately, it's now just a waiting game. You know, you're just going to have a lot of people asking when.
Yes. Well, you know what? That's a really good question. So why don't we just jump right into that topic right now? The Runeverse closed beta test numbers just came out today. And by numbers, I mean the date of the next one and also metrics on the previous one. So yeah, let's just start with the date for the next release. That is going to be August 26th, and it will run until September 7th. And I'll just hang on that for a second. Does anybody want to add to that?
I can add to it. Entropy, feel free to color in between as well. So, okay, so that's 13 days. Everybody knows 13 is a lucky number. And so it will open up. It's going to have a bunch more content. Specifically, we'll call out, like, there's going to be interior decorations. So as you quest, as you earn, you can be crafting items and then be decorating the interior house. We actually have, Rona, you'll be happy to hear this. We've chosen a handful of like the really big guilds in the Ronin ecosystem. There's going to be items that you can craft that will represent those different guilds, so people can rep themselves, which will be fun. There's going to be dungeons. We're making an MMO, a fantasy MMO. You can't have one of those without dungeons. So we'll be rolling out multiple dungeons. We're doing that in sort of a fun way. that will surprise you with just in terms of like how they roll out over the 13 days. But there will be like content updates even within those 13 days, just to give more people to, you know, give people more things to be doing, because we know that they're going to grind and stream for 30 hours straight in max level within the first couple hours. So we got to feed those guys. So I think that's really fun. There's going to be more plots. And what else? What else am I missing, Entropy?
Let's see. I don't want to speak to this too much, but you are mentioning sort of a string of content over the first 13 days, and in the same breath, how some people really kind of grind through things quicker. What I will say is that there is a very good reason to come back into the game each day. You will learn more about this next week, but yeah, it's not going to be something that you just kind of can knock out in just the first couple of days.
Yeah, I would say one thing that we realized a long time ago is that people in Web3 like incentives. And Web3 gaming, I think the promise is building in really cool incentive systems. So obviously everybody's sort of seeing the incentives in game already. Every item will eventually be able to be crafted, then put on chain and sold in secondary. So as you build up everything in your account, you'll be able to trade against that. But there's another layer that, I mean, I'll just say the date. Next Wednesday, we will be launching something that I think puts an incredible layer of incentives on top of that. And I think it just sort of plays to what people are looking for in these types of games. So I'm really excited. And also, I feel like we're announcing too much. I thought projects in crypto aren't supposed to actually ship things because people don't like it when you ship. So let's stop. We should stop shipping.
Stop shipping.
We're pausing all shipping.
Shutting it
We are
down.
pausing all shipping.
The less we do, the higher the floor goes.
Seriously.
One other thing I'll add too, I was just looking at some interesting dates last night as I was doing some calendar and spreadsheet work and stuff. I don't know if anybody here cares about this, but Mercury exits retrograde the day before our open beta begins. So in terms of communications and things like that, apparently that bodes well for us. I'm not the expert here. I just, I got the news from the internet.
No, we definitely planned around that. We have to align the stars, if anything. If nothing else, we have to align the stars.
I've been known to transform into an actual bearsnake when that happens. So I may not be able to grind through that. I might be mauling and striking people left and right.
I think one thing that we forgot to mention as well is we're going to be able to get builders crates for this build. So everybody who plays will be able to get items that they're able to mint on chain on Ronin. These are called builders crates. They come in different tiers, and you just earn them through gameplay. Some of them you earn through being the tutorial. So even if you just play the tutorial, you'll get some. Some of them you'll get from crafting perfect equips. Some of them you'll get from rolling in the Font of Memory. So even if while you're rolling for trying to get land in Font of Memories, you can also get those builder crates as well. They come as different items. If anybody's familiar with the last build, we had quantum gifts, which are pretty similar. They're not going to be the same exact items, but it's going to be time exclusive. So you can only get them in this build, these builder crates. They're going to reveal into items later in the full game. And there's various different ones. So they have different things within them, and you can only get them now. This will be the only event. There won't be any more made later. So they're exclusive for everybody who's here right now, everybody who's supporting us, and everybody who's wanting to join in the game and give us feedback during this early period of building. So very exciting times. It's gifts for everybody if you join in.
I got to tack on just a bit too. I'm not going to say what it is, but there is also there's 5 other items that are exclusive to this event, and also exclusive access if you are a part of, let's just say, another cohort. If you've been paying attention to some of the team's personal socials over the last couple of weeks, you might have an inkling as to one of them. Again, not something that's like critical for your success in the game, but a fun extra thing to be able to get. You pay attention and you'll know exactly what we're talking about.
Too much alpha.
Truly, I know. There goes the floor.
I think it's gonna be. I'm gonna make a little bit of a guess. I think this is gonna be the biggest blockchain-enabled game by the end of the year. I really do. I really think that.
Yeah.
I'm not joking. I mean, even Dotta was saying that today. He was like, he's like, you always want. He's like, Bear, you always want to like get more and have have the highest goals. That's my goal. That's our goal, is to like have the biggest game. And I actually think it's possible with that big R in the right corner of the space.
I was just going to say that. I mean, Ronan is a critical piece here in achieving that goal. And I think, well, let me put it this way. So we released some metrics, and during the build, apparently it was the number one game on Ronan during the beta test. But I'll let Jiho or Ronan confirm that. Is that true, guys?
Yo, what up? So basically, what we're seeing is that during the duration of the test, the Forgotten Runiverse was like the most talked about thing on the Ronin network, right? So we basically are measuring. Yeah. So basically, we measure things like social analytics. So this is basically the aggregation of the social chatter of who's talking about what on the Ronin network and what is the volume of that. And basically, what we saw is that during the duration of the test, everyone was talking about and hyping up the Forgotten Universe, and it was the most talked about thing on the Ronin network during that time, which is actually insane considering right, just a small fraction of the community was given access to the CBT.
Right. Yeah. Good point. I mean, to that, another really interesting number is apparently 76 percent of all the players during this test were brand new players, which is just a really good sign, in my opinion.
I call that the Ronin effect.
There you go.
Boom.
Hey, there we go.
But yeah, I mean, other interesting numbers were the average player spent about 8.6 hours playing, which sounds like a lot to me. And then we had an 82% retention rate, which is also just really good. But yeah, I mean, those were the numbers that really stood out to me.
Damn. I mean, you know, I feel that. I feel that. I feel those numbers. I experienced those numbers. I was those numbers. I was totally addicted, and like during the test, and I was like trying to find ways to like sneak out of bed to go play in the middle of the night. This game was about to ruin my life. And that's what you want from an MMO. Like that's what you want from an MMO.
We
I
want to
had
ruin
forgotten.
everybody's
Like
lives.
I had forgotten what MMOs can do to you. And but I was reminded of my youth, right? Skulking in the basement trying to hide from my mom who had put these very strict limitations on me about my rating hours, right? It was
Yeah.
that kind of vibe, and I was transported back to 2003 for a few days. So I thank you for that.
You know, so that's one of the things I love about the game is that it feels, I mean, I think it feels very in line with Ronin, but it also it feels in line, like it's counter programming to, I think, what a lot of other games are going after, which is more of like a shiny sort of Unreal style 3D environment game, which, by the way, I love playing those games. But this nostalgic feeling, I think, is I think that's what creates this game and makes us a potential dark horse. Actually, not even a dark horse, a white horse. And I think that's the other thing is, speaking to like the number one talked about game on Ronin. There's so many other great games and teams building on Ronin. I think one thing that we saw from the community is that we kind of opened the aperture so that there's a lot of creative ways to engage with the IP and the community in the game. And so like all the artwork we're seeing, and this is very sort of native to like the original cult. And so I think there's just more to get involved in with the game, because there is this sort of like love, nostalgic art, creativity like layer on top.
Mm. So one thing that I see as a right, like when we think about what are the new types of users that we're able to introduce this technology to that are not just speculators and traders, right? What is the net new archetype? So one thing that I see with you guys, right, is you have people who are like more creative, right, like artists, writers, right, like kind of modern day bards, if you will. And this is actually also something that we saw in the early Axie community, right? Is like there were just people who like were into art and into the who thought the art was interesting, right? So they were more like artists rather than like traders, right? So and that's definitely a flavor that I'm seeing in your community.
I'm so glad you said that, Jiho. Everybody at Magic Machine has been talking about this for 2 weeks now, about how so much of the Ronin community that has come over to us, they've blended in so well with our community of creators, because there's just so much more art on our timeline from the Ronin people, from all the Ronin people, and we love it. It's not just quantity of creativity, but also very high quality. A lot of it is going to be talked about in our Cult Chronicle at the end of the show today. But yeah, you're totally right. The Ronin creativity, or the Ronin community, is so creative, and we just love seeing it.
I totally agree. And one of the things I want to call out in particular too is like, we've seen Ronin folks come in and either buy warriors or wizards to properly sort of join the cult, but that is not the only way that you can play with us. In particular, I think that I could be wrong about this, so forgive me if I'm misspeaking, but somebody went out and created lore, written lore paired with some beautiful illustration that I believe was hand done, because I saw a time lapse of it too, for the Abomination, which is one of the bosses in the Runeverse. So that's a character that person does not own, and technically can't write in the book of lore for. And that's not stopping these people from producing their creative work and sharing it. And it's incredible to see. We love it. And you bet that was shared in our Discord as well as by Sonics. No promises of whatever everything like gets folded into the actual sort of lore, but that is what we do here. Our canon is collective canon. We are all writing the story together, and there are so many ways to do that without owning a single thing in our ecosystem. If you want to show up and you want to participate, you are welcome.
Yeah, that was really wonderful. It's just been so great seeing people who are just so willing to come in, join the ecosystem, and just express the creativity through writing, through art. It's just been such a breath of fresh air. I posted it for my own personal social that like I'm so happy for all the Ronin creators that are joining us, because you guys are top notch, and we're really glad to have you join our community as well. Very fitting.
And I just want to clarify something Jiho said earlier. He said the game is ruining his life, but what he meant was RUNE, not RUIN.
Ruining. Yeah. It's ruining. It's ruining my work schedule too.
That was too good. That was too good. That was too good.
The runes will not be forgotten.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, so some of the things that I really appreciated is I thought the economy was super cool with, right, how every skill and every item needed to be crafted. And I thought that was awesome. I loved like having to team up with the people, right, for the bosses, right? So there was like, right, so almost it was a big benefit, right, to having friends and having people that you could team up with at like the drop of a cap or a hat. And that was awesome, right? So I was making friends with people in the community that I wanted to play Forgotten Runeverse with, that some of them I'd seen around on socials and Discord, etc., for years, but never really did anything with them, right? So it was like fun to make totally random friends. I felt like I was able to experience like a diversity of content, right? Like during the 2 or 3 days that it was up. And so yeah, now I'm just wondering like, okay, what's gonna happen? What's gonna be in the next launch, right? Like with the level cap increase, right? Like potentially new like maps and dungeons, more loot, more skills. And I'm wondering like, yeah, what is the end game gonna look like too, right? Because if the build had stayed up for a week or something, right? I'm thinking like what would we have done, right? To like maybe like farm, we would have continued farming, right? But so that's what I'm thinking about, right? Is like, what will the end game state also look like when the game is eventually up for longer periods of time?
I wonder that myself. Yeah, I mean, as we said earlier, this next build, like one fun thing it's going to include is being able to build and decorate your house. Is that true, Matto? The houses will be available?
Yeah, houses will be available. So you were able to build in closed beta, but you weren't able to actually do anything for the interiors of your houses. With this, you'll actually be able to do stuff to the interiors. You'll actually be able to craft additional stuff. So like in the closed beta, you weren't able to craft any interior decorations because interiors weren't possible. Now you have the ability to get some interior decoration. So some of that monster loot that you'll be getting, you'll be able to pour over into actually crafting stuff for your house and test those mechanics out, right? And we also have dungeons that are coming up as well, as we mentioned as well. That's like its own side feature. So it's the level cap's going to raise to 20. So most of the monsters that you've been facing so far, aside from like if you've been closed beta, like the final bird boss, most of them are actually elite mobs. So they're not actually boss tier. The dungeons are going to actually have the boss monsters that are even more powerful. So if you've been testing yourself now, right, you're gonna test yourself more of those monsters. It's gonna be really fun. And in general, in general, there's gonna be more content down the line because this is still in the beta, right? And it's still, we have an open world. Like the actual end game is an open world to explore, not just kind of areas that you teleport to that they're kind of like closed off. The entire map you'll be able to walk on your own, explore, and visit other people's homes on your own, and it's gonna be really fun. Yeah, great stuff.
That sounds insane. So yeah, I can't wait to see what happens. I feel like I heard that there was like a lot of stuff that could have made it right, that was ready almost right to be in the CBT, but wanted to be saved right for the open thing. So that sounds sick.
Yep, lots of goodies to come.
That's very exciting. I can't believe it's a little over a week away. But I mean it sounds like it's going to be a massive, I guess, difference from the last beta test. Is this one also considered a beta test, or does it have a different name for the launch?
So it's still being considered a beta. We're just pushing out because we don't want to get too confused with the closed beta test that we had recently, right? This is where everybody's invited to join this, right? There's no whitelist, there's no sign up sheets. You don't need an NFT to join. Everybody can come in. So we're calling it New Foundations. It's also kind of like, it's a nice name because we're building our new foundations on Ronin, right? We just started here, so and it kind of ties in with obviously the building mechanics in the game. So altogether, it's just the name is called New Foundations. It's still a beta version of the game, right? You're not going to be able to see like everything the game has to offer in this build. There's a lot more we have planned, and we have our white paper on the site if you want to kind of do a deeper dive into that. Of course, if you have any questions about what those features are, you're free to drop by the Discord and ask. We have plenty of people who are very knowledgeable of our white paper and able to answer those for you. But in general, there's a lot of stuff that's ahead. So this is still a beta build. There's still a lot more to uncover that you won't see in this build yet.
And so this one will...
Yeah, one other... Oh, sorry, Elf, real fast. One other thing that I meant to say earlier in terms of like what's new in this build is, there were bugs, obviously, in the closed beta test, which that's why you call it a closed beta. That's why you run it. But the team has been squashing a lot of those bugs. So there should be a lot more smoother gameplay, people not getting kicked. There was a lot of issues. There were some issues with like sort of the party system, and that's all been fixed. And so I think it's just going to be a smoother experience in general.
Right.
Yep. And this beta will be about 2 weeks long, which is a lot longer than the previous beta. But then I know you probably don't have an answer to this. Any insight when the full game launch will occur? Is it still like sometime end of the year? Is that close? Anybody, Matto?
I want to say the timeline is still aiming for end of year.
Okay.
Yeah, still aiming for end of year timeline. We'll see how after we get like the feedback from this build and stuff, we'll probably have like a more concrete answer for this, right? Because we want to make sure that we have.
And also,
go on, Bear.
It's a layered question because these games evolve, right, and they're constantly getting updated, and new content's coming out. So will there be like a global live launch this year? That's what's planned. But like again, it's an ever evolving, growing game.
Yep. Great.
I kind of wish Matto had taken just like 2 seconds longer to answer that question because I was going to play this.
Entry, what is that? That sounds so familiar. Why is that funny?
from the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, I think,
Yes,
right?
okay.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I
Yeah,
still got a bunch of soundboard items in here from this is my wife's old Rodecaster that she used to use for the Zen Academy Zen Daily Spaces. I have some leftover things in here.
Yeah,
If there's one thing this show needs, it's more sound effects for sure.
definitely.
I'm totally into it.
Yeah, I love that one.
Okay, I'll stop.
Okay, well, yeah. I mean, Jiho, Ronan, anything else about the upcoming beta test or the previous one?
For my end, I mean, I would definitely lean on Visonic and the whole team to have more specifics around that.
Sure.
And what I can speak about is I think there are a lot of people, right, who saw great things, who saw a lot of the people that they respect as well, right, having a ton of fun in the game. And so I think the buzz and the electricity in the community leading into the open beta is really high. It's something special, and this is going to be an awesome moment. And I have full confidence in the team. Definitely especially after being a tester myself, the game delivered. It was surpassed my expectations for CBT. I have a lot of confidence in this team. I'm looking forward to playing. I'm looking forward to being addicted, and that those are the things that I can say, right? And we're preparing on our end to support the launch, in whatever way we can. And we also I see Hantown in the audience as well, plotting with Moku. So yeah, we're excited, and the end of the month can't come soon enough.
Yeah, just to tag on, I do have to give an apology in advance to anyone who will be trying to reach me from the 26th to the 7th. I will be completely unavailable for any matter, life or death, critical matter. It's unfortunate. I will be a wizard, and I will be crafting new spells and taking down giant birds with my friends.
In other words, your life will be in runes, not ruins, runes.
There you go. Yeah, Finn, I'm right there with you. I jokingly said this at the end of the closed beta, but I'm going to submit a partial time off request because I need more time grinded in the game.
I got made fun of internally for not being high enough level during the first test. I didn't max level fast enough.
Dude, yeah, no, I hear you. Literally, my wife's in the audience right now, Emma Levy, and she commented on today's space bragging that she hit a higher level cap than I did during the CBT. Something is wrong here.
That is shameful, man.
I know.
This is your job.
That's always a good task is when, hey, like you wish that you had more time to play around with your own invention and creation. That's definitely been the case with me and Axie over the years, right? So especially as someone I started out as just the Axie community member, someone who loved the vision and wanted to be a part of it. And obviously over the years, my ability to be an intense user to the max degree, like I was with CryptoKitties, right, is that's been complicated.
That's awesome, man. That's great.
That's the way. Living the dream.
Truly.
Awesome. Well, again, look forward to ruining everyone's lives in the next week. But I think we're going to pivot to one other big thing that happened this week, and I'm sure you all saw the tweet. We have finally we were finally able to deliver the first checks of the comic book royalties for people who appeared in Bear. Is it just issue 1 so far that we sent out?
Yes, it was just for the issue 1. That was the first one, obviously, is issue 1 to come out. So yeah, all the checks were paid. I'll let you keep going. I can color in behind you if you want.
Yeah. So the later issues will be coming out soon. But I mean, obviously, this just represents a really big step for us, and honestly, for the entire NFT space, because this is the exact sort of thing that every project has been talking about for like 3+ years. Very few have actually delivered on it. And I'm proud to say that we might be one of the few. I can probably name two other projects that have done similar, maybe
We
three.
are. We are. We are
Okay.
one of them. Not maybe.
Yeah. And so, and it's again, like to be more specific, what I'm talking about, it's not just the idea of like, well, okay, here's what it is. It's this idea of fans being partial owners of the franchise itself. And when I say owners, I mean owners in a financial sense, a legal sense, a creative sense, an emotional sense, all of it. This is an entirely new way to do a media franchise. And it was always sort of like vapor or white papers and ideals in the last few years, but now that we have delivered concretely on this idea, and so it's very, very exciting for us to actually be able to follow through on this. And I think, like, one thing we talked about today in the Discord is like, we don't want this to just be a tweet. We need to be better at bragging about ourselves. So I think we're going to talk a lot more about this because it really is a big damn deal.
That's a really interesting point. To be honest, like, you guys are doing the thing that everyone is like, oh, we're making an anime to eventually, right, be able to do this, but you guys are already doing it. That's mind blowing. Um, Yeah, I'm interested in, like, yeah, like, I'll ask you guys probably a bunch of questions about this later, but it sounds sick. I want to get involved. I want to experience more of the lore side of the ecosystem, right? With the two wizards that I have, my warriors eventually, I guess. But yeah, you guys are really delivering, and that is something that we talk about too, right? It's like we need to brag better, we need to brag more, right? So it's kind of like why, we do always have like a very like data backed approach to talking about ourselves, because right, it's like the facts are undeniable, and you cannot argue with the facts, and our job is creating like the facts that basically convince the world that we're onto something here. But it is a bit of a thing where in crypto people, to be honest, they're only focused on, right, like they're mainly focused on short-term things. They're focused on price. They're not celebrating the things that are actually working in the industry enough,
Yep.
right? For example, right, like I was a big user and proponent of Polymarket for a long time. All the paper trails, the receipts are all there. And I was like wondering why nobody was talking about it, right? But because it was a crypto product that was working, and it had a clear Web 2 example that was severely limited. Predicted. I was actually one of the original power users of Predicted. I used to, right, have to use like my friends' IDs and stuff like that because there was a $10,000 betting limit. Anyway, so the space is not doing a good enough job of celebrating the teams that are actually delivering. But we will aid you in that quest, right? Like we will celebrate alongside you. And you know as Warren Buffett kind of said, right, is like in the long run, right, it's your weight. It's the weight that you create, that you put on via your accomplishments, that determines your
Yep.
value. But in the short term, right, people are focused on kind of irrational
Yeah,
things.
Gio, I totally agree, man. There's a trend that I notice over the last 3 years of the NFT space and really just the crypto space at large, which is like the people who are loud but build almost nothing do better than the people who build quietly. Um, and it's like, I think we just need to build more loudly and just be really obnoxious about bragging about it more often. Um, because my one of my biggest pet peeves is the loud non-builders. They talk all day every day about nothing and they get ahead. So we're trying to change that. I think Bear got kicked. Entropy, is that right? Is he having connection problems?
I think so. It seemed like it kicked him from co-host, but let me get him back up here in just a second.
Okay.
By the way, Elf, I really loved that 3D check that was made. Was that Frog Eater who made that? Who made that?
Oh no, I made that, but
It looks great.
thanks.
It looked like the Willy Wonka golden ticket.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, here's another thing I love about the whole comic thing, and I've said this many times before, but the comic is just such a great proof of concept of what we're trying to do at a larger scale. The comic is really, I mean, it's awesome in its own right. Don't get me wrong, but it's sort of like just a smaller version of bigger things that we want to do. Especially with like the TV show, and the game. The comic is just like, yeah, like a smaller version of here's how you can put storytelling out there in a legacy media format, and show how you can build a world in a decentralized way, and allow your fans to see their creations in this professional piece of media. So it's like, Bear and I have been dealing with TV show people for the past few years, trying to get the show off the ground. And they often wonder, like, how are you going to do this in this decentralized way? I don't even know if that'll work. Well, now I can point to them and say it worked in the comic. It's this is the proof of concept. It does work.
Just to start. Just to
Yep.
start. It's just like you said, like it's always been like a concept that like a lot of teams, especially back in like the heyday of NFTs when it was like in 2022 and 2021, they're all like promising it, and like it seemed like there were very few teams who really found an actual path forward making that reality, right? And like seeing it actually happen here, it's great. It's truly groundbreaking, and like part of it is you have to deal at the speed of like traditional companies. Right? Like Volume 1 came out when like I think end of last year, right? And so like having that check flow out now is it kind of just shows you like how things move in traditional spaces a bit slow, but doesn't mean that things aren't moving. And then like moving forward, we get to see those cogs start rolling more and more. So really exciting.
Bear, I see you have your hand up.
Can I talk?
Are you back, buddy?
God.
Yeah, if this platform will allow you to. Jeez.
Yes. Hi. Wow. No. So yeah. Okay. So a couple things. I want to talk a little bit about like the structure of the royalties because I spent a lot of time thinking about how to best do that. But I did want to go back to something you were saying, Alf, like in terms of and Matt, like talking about traditional media, traditional businesses. They accept what we're doing. Like as we've said to people, like, people have tried to buy the television show, but I think the issue runs deeper. And I think I sort of give I wear this as a badge of honor. Is for the show, then at that point in time you really have to get into and like negotiate the details of what that means, and part of that is like ownership. How much can you retain? Can we retain, right? To then sort of run the company and do something a little bit different and sort of break this model of like studios and corporate media companies owning the IP and them sort of using their community, building communities, not really giving back to them besides like giving them products that are really just have to be paid for, right? Whether that's a movie ticket or it's a video game or whatever. And not that that's bad, right? I think buying movie tickets is great and people get a lot out of it. They get a product for that. But I do think like we're trying to stand up a new model that is way more equitable for us with the people that are contributing to building it with us. And so you look at these like super fans, not super fans. I mean, you call them power users who are creating art, they're writing stories, they're getting baked into the comic, they're getting baked into the game, into the TV show, and they're being rewarded for that. And so I think that's actually where it gets sticky with traditional media, specifically with the show, is that they are still in the mindset of, okay, we just have to own everything and we're going to extract one way and that will be that. And we'll see how far we can like run it until it burns down to the ground, or we make 20 shows and the brand doesn't mean anything. And so, to that, I think talking about this equitable structure, the royalties themselves, actually, I'll stop for a second, but Elf, I mean, I know we've talked about this. Like if we only get 2, 3, 4, 5% back-end points on a television show, well, then we can't really change anything. We can't we can't distribute royalties at a level that we want to because we're being pinched by like that traditional model, and so we're trying to open that up. We're trying to crack it open. And we're trying to create a new norm, and it's very difficult.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I've always thought of the TV show as the old Saturday morning cartoon model, where like the show is just sort of the grand advertisement for the rest of the IP. Um, but I mean, I don't know. That's a whole other conversation. But
I just think if I just know that if we're gonna make a show, we really like, just like with the comic book, like you said, is like a small example. But to make a show and to have people share in the upside of who contribute, I think that's the tough part for traditional media to get over, and why we're not willing to like do a deal for a show that like sort of maybe gives us just a couple like little sticks to play with, even if it's.
sure, yep, yep.
I'll talk really quickly about how we structured the royalty payments as well. I'm not going to get into details. I think we're going to talk about exactly who got what and how much. I think that's, for me, that's irrelevant. I really want to talk about the structure. And so, there is something I did a lot of research into like the SAG and AFTRA unions, and those are the actors unions that were on strike last year. And a lot of how they are structured is this idea of like tiered sort of titles. So, if you're a lead, it's different than an appearance, or like being an extra in the background. Everybody gets paid a different scale because they're providing different services. And so for us, we really wanted to try to have this tiered system so that if you are on the cover, if you do have a ton of lines, if you're super prominent, that's a different thing than maybe having lines or appearing or just like being in the background. And so we structured this tiered system around lead, guest, and appearance. And so based on, and we do it by, and by the way, let's just give a hand to young Nalgene, who's in the audience listening. He really helped sort of get all the details done and execute all of this in terms of getting payments. So shout out to Nalgene. But the way we have these different tiers is by counting lines and counting how many times they appear visually. And so we calculate that and then base royalty payments off of that. I also think it's pretty interesting to note that we decided to pay out our royalties before we paid ourselves. Again, I think it's just more important for the health of the community, the longevity of the IP, for us to be showing benefits now, rather than trying to like sort of be petty and recoup all costs. So that's my spiel and rant about comic royalties. Happy to answer questions.
It's just a big damn deal. And we're gonna brag about
So
it more.
it's kind of boring. It's kind of boring. Sorry.
No, it isn't boring. I mean, the point of what you were just saying is like we didn't just throw a dart at the board and just randomly decide who gets what. We actually used a structure that is informed by the legacy entertainment industry. So there's a real professionalism about how we did it.
Yeah, I'm professional.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why you put a suit on my warrior.
Exactly. But yeah. So yeah, that's the comic. So exciting.
Let me quick plug too. If
Sure.
you have not read the comics yet and you would like to, pinned at the top of this space is the post that we shared yesterday about the comic royalties. If you scroll down to the bottom, the second to last post has a link to a Notion site where you can find direct links to purchase all of the comics issues 1 through 5, both North America and international distribution. And you can also go and pre-order the graphic novel paperback that will include issues 1 through 5. I just ordered mine, so you should get yours in there so you get it the first day.
That was by
What?
the way.
I need all of this.
Yes. Oh, and by the way, hey, Jiho, we're sending. It might already be shipped, a massive package. So you should be getting stuff shortly. But
You don't know what my address is or my
I have ways. We got satellites. We got wizard satellites.
Oh my goodness! All right.
Well,
Well,
go ahead.
I obviously want more. I want more for gifts and stuff like that. So I'll be supporting. Bros, I need to Bros and Brosofinas, I need to leave, but it was awesome to hang out, and yeah, I'm super excited for the 26th. I'll be clearing my schedule, and yeah, I'm sending love and strength vibes, and I'll catch you guys
Come
soon.
back anytime,
Jiho, you're the best.
Yeah,
Jiho,
thanks
you're the
for hanging
best.
out.
Thank you. You're
All right, much love, much
amazing.
love.
Thanks for the support.
Later.
As Jiho leaves, I did want to say, as you were doing that beautiful call to action, which sounded scripted, and maybe you changed your microphone because your voice got all sexy. We should start It sounded like a mid-roll advertisement in podcasts. We should start recording mid-roll advertisements for Wizard Wednesday, and you can play them. How fun would that be?
Ooh, okay. Here's a thought. I really like that. It would also save me from having to stumble over the regrettably requesting everybody to comment and retweet the space every damn week too. If I can hit that on a soundboard button, that sounds great. I'm gonna work on that for next week.
we're all about efficiency over here at Magic Machine.
Hell yeah! Give me a macro button and I'm happy.
I love it. We've got for anybody who comes on stage. If you want to speak, just raise your hand. I never know if people just want to come up and hang out or if they actually want to say something. But yeah, just raise your hand. Otherwise, I'm gonna jump to some cult questions. Although we have Wild Mage coming up, and I bet Wild Mage wants to say something, or maybe not.
Going once, going twice. Wild Mage, are you there? Come in.
Okay. Oh,
I am here.
Hey, we got
Wild
him.
Mage. What up, dog?
What's up, guys? So I wanted to, I guess, just bump the lore ranker because I think everyone needs to be involved in that.
Yes. The you're talking about the tool that Dotta built and announced last Wizard Wednesday, I think.
Yes, not to mention the fact that I think that the way that Dotta has worded describing the lore ranker and describing its involvement, that it's very, very important that you not only make lore, but you also get involved with the lore ranker.
Yeah, Wild Mage, I'm glad you said that because we had some questions about it in the Secret Tower, and I was actually gonna just push them to next week because Dota's not here and he'll know better. But I'll just say that yes, Wild Mage is correct. Not only, let me put it this way: if you should use your wallet that you have a wizard in to rank lore. There will be a good reason to do so.
I did I compiled a top 10 lore that I encountered in the lore ranker, and I brought it up on Monday Magic News. And then Hinboyd and Crucifor said that I needed to bring up this top 10 on Wizard Wednesday.
You have a top 10 best lore?
The top 10 best examples of lore on the lore ranker. Are you ready?
Let's hear it.
Number 10. 30 paragraphs of text labeled as either prologue or chapter 1.
Oh, it's this kind of top 10. Okay.
Yes, this kind of top 10.
You got a live action tier list up in here. I love it.
Number 9, 1/2 sentence about a plum.
Yeah, okay.
There's tons of those in there.
Number 8, 3 very short sentences about how cool my wizard is.
This is like a David Letterman top 10. Okay. What's number 7?
Number 7 is a link that I am not going to click.
A wallet draining link in the book of lore.
God.
What's number 6?
Number 6 is just literal blank space.
Okay. Number 5.
Number 5 is I was once the warrior king that laid waste to half the planet, but now I'm a loner, Dottie, a rebel.
Oh, that's good. It's a good Pee Wee Herman reference. Number 4.
So-and-so the wizard was so badass, even Bear, Elf, and Dotta feared them.
Oh, shit.
Ooh, I like that. All right, I'm hitting Wii music for the last 3.
Okay, number 3.
Literally posting the initial example text about putting in lore.
Okay, I think the music is a little too loud.
It is a little loud.
Say that one more
sorry,
time.
I didn't have that sound leveled. Keep going, Wild Mage.
Number 2, select this side. This is a test to make sure you're paying attention. You'll see this less often the more you rank.
Oh, that's my favorite. I love
Okay.
that.
And number 1.
And number 1, give me an airdrop. That's it. I can't be arsed to do. I can't be arsed to do more than that.
Oh, that is the exact kind of lore that we hate around here. Wild Mage, I hope you didn't rank that one
No,
positively.
I'm definitely all about only voting for the really good quality lore.
Okay. See, here's the problem with the lore ranker. If your community intentionally ranks high the lore like that, then the entire purpose has been defeated.
I think it'll sort itself out. I think that if there's anybody who wants to do that there'll be the minority. I think that most people will do it in good faith, and they'll actually pump up stuff they want. So it will sort itself out. Like, it's like Dota said before, it's like an elo system. So like people can rank high the crappy ones, and like eventually, like, it was like over time, as people de-rank it, it'll kind of just like fall on the low side. So,
and some of these I can definitely see, like, intended as like a quick, easy entry, but some of these could really be turned into some memes in certain media expressions. So we'll see.
Yeah,
they really could. I should make a Twitter post so that way some folks can riff on those.
Awesome. Well, I hope you're right, Matto. We'll see how it goes. We've got Meeple Dead coming up. Again, if anybody wants to speak, just raise your hand. Yeah. Oh, King Sopa. Hello.
Hello. I just have one quick question about the lore ranking that you said before.
Sure.
Does this apply to warriors also, or just if you have a wizard in your wallet? That's what I wanted to ask.
It applies to all. Yeah, warriors are included for sure.
And souls.
Cool. I've been ranking some lore, and it's pretty fun actually. You get to know or learn a lot about the cult.
Yeah, great.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Yeah, I think one great thing about it is it almost solves like an issue where of a randomized lore button. We haven't had that, and it's been a request that we've had for a while, and like it just shoots you random lore. Like, there's the first lore that I found was actually like a pony lore, and I don't really even look at the pony lore as much. And it was a great pony lore. It was written entirely in like pony neighs and grunts. And it was wonderful. Like, it was very creative, and it had like an illustration in the middle of it, and it just kept going as if like the pony was just talking. Like,
I love that.
Loved it.
That's fun. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, King Sopa. Yeah, warriors are definitely included. So yeah, you're good. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I don't know if we'll get to all the questions today. But let's see. Tanya did have a fun lore question that I think I'm just going to hit real quick. And she was asking about the souls. Tanya was asking about souls lore. And she's asking, do they walk around in broad daylight, or do they only emerge at night? Do they live in some kind of underworld? Are they tangible beings, or are they energetic beings? So yeah, I mean, Tanya, every question you asked, there's multiple answers. So as everybody knows, the souls, there's actually a few different types. There's liches, wraiths, zombies, ghouls, and revenants, and these are the more physical, corporeal beings. And then the specters, poltergeists, and phantasms are more ethereal. The liches, wraiths, zombies, ghouls, and revenants, they're basically physical beings of dead flesh and bone, and their homeland is mostly the Nightmare Dominion, although they can really be found everywhere on the entire runic supercontinent. And then the specters, poltergeists, and phantasms, they're really made more of spiritual materials like ether and ectoplasm and materia. And they have the ability to phase in and out of the physical plane, just sort of coming and going at will. The Nightmare Dominion is an entire empire in the southern regions, and it's ruled by the Lich Emperor Supreme, and he commands legions of wraiths and revenants. And there's actually a big war between the Lich armies and the zombie hordes, which is of course led by the Zombie King. This is a war of the dead versus the dead. Elsewhere in the Runeverse, we find the ghouls, which are more horrifying creatures of lust and carnal debauchery. They live in the boglands and the vampire mists, and sometimes they even venture into Goblin Town. And I think, with the really interesting thing to note about all the Forgotten Souls is they were, of course, all once wizards that were tempted and transmuted by the sacred flame. And they became twisted, nightmarish versions. The sacred flame was used in profane ways, and this was the result. And so that's just some brief soul lore. The souls are definitely they have a big role in the TV show. The war between the zombie hordes and the Lich legions is a big theme in the show and storyline. So they're very important characters. They will also be playable as skins in the game. And actually, I'll hit one more quick question as well. Twinkle was asking, is there a possibility that a wizard, a warrior, a soul, or a shadow becomes a real antagonist for other players in the Runeverse game? And the answer is yes. And this is actually it's kind of an interesting question. I think the Lich Emperor Supreme will be a boss in the game, but of course that's also a token who's owned by somebody in the community. So there may be a weird instance where you're playing as the Lich Emperor, but you're battling the Lich Emperor as well. And it's just this is just something that games do. I mean, a good example would be like Street Fighter 2, where you can play as M. Bison throughout the entire game and then fight him as a boss. It's just something. It's just a weird thing that's just in games that players have learned to accept. So I guess I would just draw a line between the skin that you're using in game manifested as the Lich Emperor Supreme, and then the Lich Emperor Supreme manifested as a boss. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about too much of the logic in that. But yeah, I'm gonna have to push the rest of the questions to next Wednesday, especially the ones that were aimed at Dotta, because he is, after all, not here. But of course, before we go, with 2 minutes left, we are certainly going to go over the Cult Content Chronicle compiled by, come on, guys.
The illustrious
Tanya Del Rio.
Every damn week. And man, this is a big one. I can't. It took me a minute to find it, but okay, I got it. And I'm gonna ask you guys to help me with this, but I'll start it off. And actually, Meeple Dad, you've got the #1 slot in the Chronicle this week. You were covered by our everyone's favorite cult vlogger, Other Guide Pro. He breaks down all the stuff in the treasure trove. But Meeple Dad, do you want to say any words on the upcoming treasure trove?
Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, I'll say a few quick words on treasure troves. Pre-orders are live now. There's tons of fun stuff. We'll see in the upcoming clips of the Cult Content Chronicle, the Lego set revealed, as well as the trading cards. And I'll segue real quick. There's, this is a project that supports the DAO. So when you sign up and pre-order your treasure trove, a portion of that does go to support our amazing DAO, which I'll do some DAO updates after the Cult Content Chronicle if there's time.
There's a link to treasure trove boxes at the top of the space if anybody wants to check it out and order.
Oh, perfect. Yep. Awesome. Yeah. I mean, guys, this treasure trove 2.0 is, I mean, it looks to me like it's just a real improvement on Treasure Trove 1, and Treasure Trove 1 was freaking awesome, but Meeple is really outdoing himself with this next one. I mean, as you can see in the Cult Chronicle, there's Legos involved, there's a pack of cards involved, and tons of other things. So yeah, go get your order in. And what's really cool is you can pay with crypto. I certainly did, so yeah, you can use crypto or fiat. Okay, continuing with the Chronicle, Lucas Spataro is back at it. Has recently sculpted a really cool see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil version of the Implings. Really cool, Lucas. Always good work. And then he also made a really great version of J Mander's Dream Master Wizard. Virgilius the Sorcerer has continued developing the lore around the entire Kirama region of the Runeverse. I feel like Virgilius is almost single-handedly building out that section of the map, and he's doing such an awesome job at it. I'd love to see it. He's also got a piece in here developing for his soul, the horned phantasm Caligula. Code Nino commissioned a really great piece from another cult favorite artist, Markifine. Man, I love Markifine's art; so good. Burnt Coffee Roan, one of our new Ronin artists, has given us a really great piece of Ghost Eater Jadis of the Hollow. Super fun style. Bearsnake, I know you probably like this one. It's sort of reminiscent of Adventure Time.
You know, it's one of my favorite shows. It's a great piece. It's such a cute piece. Like, I want to be sitting at that table.
So cute. And actually, Bear, I'll let you continue if you want.
I am on my phone, and it's really hard to track.
Okay, all good, homie. All good.
All good. I can hop in.
You want to take it?
Yeah, for sure. So another piece here from Burnt Coffee, also in the same Adventure Time-ish style. I really love the lighting going on in this piece. You can like feel the magical energy coming out of whatever this concoction is that Jadis is mixing together here. We've got a commission done by DOX Lab or DOX Lab for J Mander of his Dream Master, looking pretty snazzy. Love this. Following with another commission, or no, this is self-created work from Jay Cart of Wizard Victoria of the Road. Really, really love this like forced perspective style too. This is a really, really neat way to show a character.
Yeah, I got to interject. Jay Cart, this piece is so awesome. I don't know how you did it, man. I mean, it's just so good. It's so good. It's just really professional. It's colored well. It's lit well. It's drawn well. It's just a beautiful piece. I'm really looking forward to more work from Jay Cart.
So good. We've got a piece of art here from Astariste, I think I'm saying that correctly, who's a relatively new wizard holder. There's some lore attached to this that explains how this wizard was transformed into its child form. That is really fun. So I would definitely recommend going to check that out.
So cute. Yeah, the chibi wizard is adorable.
Yeah. We've got a video here from Maddie Geek Up, who's sharing experiences. The video is in Spanish, but it has English subtitles, so I'd recommend you go and check that out to see their take on Runeverse game and how they enjoyed it.
Nice.
A super cool work in progress commission or piece of art done by Actually Ellie, OX Actually Ellie. They're working across the different 8 beasts from Forgotten Runes, and this one is the Ouroboros that they're reimagining. After that, we have a commission from done by Ian Zitz for Jason DeSante of The Contract Wizard. Love this animation. It is so fun. The music is so great. There's all these great little details in here too. This is one of my favorite 3D model animations I think we've seen from Forgotten Runes related content. It's a banger.
Yeah, Jason was sharing this with me the other day, and Ian, you just nailed this character. It's so fun. I don't know. I just love this character. He makes me smile. Okay, I'll continue. Clooney the Rat keeps building on Nifty Island, and has shared a video recently. It's just so impressive. I mean, this build it just goes on and on and on. Like, I mean, it looks like you could spend an hour just exploring this whole thing. There's so many fun little features to it. So yeah, I love seeing Clooney's progress on this. Daniela Illustra, who never stops, continues with the comic that she's working on. Gives us another sneak peek into her work in progress. And then Wizard Small commissioned Daniela to design a tattoo. Okay, Wizard Small, let's see it. I hope this actually becomes a tattoo. It's of his soul. Very exciting. Magus Devon was gifted a commission from Oshio-san. Mato, did I say that right?
Oshio-san. You're close enough.
Nice. Mato, I feel like your wizard is one who is chibi-fied more than anyone else I see.
Yeah, I get a lot of I like messing around with the different styles. I like this one was actually I didn't even request this actually because like I said it was a present. I had just there's a lot of great people from Ronin who were really appreciative of like the help that I gave them onboarding into the game and giving them help, and somebody just kind of DM'd me and was just like, hey, I have a present for you, and then they showed it to me, so I was really happy about it. Exciting.
That's too cool.
Super cute.
You definitely deserve all the props, and this commission is a very, very sweet gesture by that person too. Yeah, Matto, you've absolutely been killing it, helping everybody understand the Runeverse game and all of the things. So well deserved.
Yep. Another really awesome piece. Cloudy TK has just been doing some really beautiful pixel art. It's just very moody and just it gives me just like old school RPG vibes. I love seeing Cloudy TK's work. Super fun. Red Arctic Pacific.eth shared some really cool Magic the Gathering style cards using Forgotten Runes imagery. Hin Boyd shared a commission by Castamere of his waifu warrior. There's an Axie art gallery contest, and so Wawinda, Maui Wawinda has submitted a really cool piece of her wizard battling the giant beetle from the Runeverse game. And then Maudu, I don't know if I said that right, Madu, also did a really cool piece for the Ronin art contest of a wizard battling the Storm King. I love seeing the art from the Runeverse game. It's super fun. Sunskay.ron did a really cool piece of his eyeball wizard in one of the forests in the Runeverse game. Sweet Potato did a really great piece of a wizard in the Thorn for the art contest, I think. Tita.ron did another really great piece for the art contest of her wizard. Looks like she's getting a little bit carried away with her fireball, and there's a little frog who is terrified. That frog in that image is so good. And then there's a little Moku behind the Illuminatus pyramid. It's really funny.
The frog is definitely screaming, "We're in a 10-foot square room! Don't cast!"
Yeah. So good. Actually, Ellie has another piece in here of the Nightmare Imp. Looks like a warrior getting ready to battle the Nightmare Imp. David Azul.ron did a really this piece is actually really beautiful. The colors are awesome. It's Inchby, you were mentioning this earlier today, the Abomination.
Yep.
Yeah, super nice piece. Okay, yep, keeps going. Nixie.ron did a really badass version of a kobold. This might be the first time that a kobold actually looks badass and not koboldy.
I really love this one. It is so cool.
Yeah, very nice, Nixie.ron. And then Nixie.ron did another really cool piece of Geomancer Marceau of the Shadows. Super badass. This guy, I mean, this is like a sort of a God, I'm blanking on the name. What's the in Star Wars the
Oh yeah.
Why am I like the good wizards in Star Wars?
Jedi?
Yeah,
It's
little
okay.
Jedi Padawan training vibes
Yeah.
going on.
No, wait, what'd you say, Matto?
Jedi, like a
Jedi,
Jedi
yes.
master.
I'm
Yeah.
like, I can't believe I
It's
forgot the
okay,
word
don't
Jedi.
worry.
That is so sick. Yeah,
If I'm not mistaken, I think this is the first wizard that Nyx bought when he joined the cult. Nyx is a team member for Rona Network over at Sky Mavis too. So we've been
nice.
working closely with Nyx on a lot of things, and have been really, it's just been really cool to see how Nyx has like just folded into the community so much, and clearly really loves wizards, which makes my heart happy.
Yeah, love it. Okay, and then Phoenix at Hothead Links submitted a image of the Secret Tower with a bunch of cool wizards in front for the Forgotten Runes on Art Contest. And then Enzo submitted a beautiful version of their wizard for the art contest. Enzo actually has two submissions, one of a lichen wizard and another one of a wolf wizard. Very cool, a wolfkin. Two Crows Bazaar shared a link with some lore, continuing the legend of Two Crows. I love to see that. He's got two entries in here, one with a really fun animation. Code Nino shared a really nice image of their soul on a wanted poster. Reward, dead or alive. Well, they're already dead, Code Nino, so I think that's a given. Artificial Twinkle Toes of the Tower, one of the best wizard names in the entire collection. Shared some imagery of their wooden boy wizard along with some lore.
One thing I'll point at with this too is that they kind of talk about the sort of process of getting to the point of actually creating and publishing this lore and kind of getting the ideas out of the skull onto paper or onto the screen or whatnot. And I identify with that very closely because I likewise have wizards that I still have not committed my lore for. And I think it's a common struggle for folks. So give that thread a read and maybe it'll inspire you to finally take a first crack at one of your wizards that needs some writing.
Nice. Artsy shared some art around one of the many conspiracies in the Runeverse, questioning if birds are even real. I really can't say. I don't know. They could just be a mix between a raptor and a drone. So, really fun piece from Artsy. Pleasures shared an update on this design for a website he's building called ForgottenArtists.art. Inchby, can you give us some info about this website that Pleasures is building?
I wish that I could. I saw this and I will be honest, I sent it over to somebody else to check and make sure that it was like all good and we could kind of boost and repost and everything. I myself have not gotten in and played around with it yet.
So I can give a quick Meeple Dad here. I can give a quick little share on this. Yeah. Pleasures has been working on this just on their own steam, but it ties into the greater idea of the bounty board and the idea that the DAO is bringing up of let's try to build sort of a gallery for all this work. built by the community and create a space where artists can showcase what they do. People can go to find artists they want to commission to build their stuff. So this is definitely a work in progress from Pleasures that may get folded into a greater DAO project, which is really exciting.
Okay, that is super cool. Oh, Jinx, you owe me a Diet Coke. Maple Dad, that is amazing to hear, and thank you for clarifying with the context, because I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, I popped into dev chat in the Magic Machine Discord and was like, hey guys, picture this, Imager, but wizard art. We need, who's building this? And apparently Pleasures is building this, so amazing.
There it is.
That's what we're going
Hell
for.
yeah.
Love it. Okay. Bridge shared a really fun piece of wizards flying with a dinosaur. That's all I can say. Bridge, can you give us any more commentary on this piece you shared?
Yeah. I mean, that's Reptar. That's Reptar right up there.
Let's go.
Yeah, flying raptor. Everybody needs one of those, and they just how do you take the image to the next level? Put a flying raptor up there. But yeah, that's Reptar.
Okay, damn right. Love it. Yeah, very cool. Okay, Igdwell is continuing sharing really fun gens of his iconic wizard. This one has a fun title. It's called Reading in the Runeverse, Volume 3, Phonics Fantasy, circa 1977. I love it, Igdwell. It's very nice. And this one is a slightly different style than the ones you've been sharing. It's got an old sort of VHS quality to it.
I finally asked Igdwell in DMs. I was like, all right, there's synths in every single one of these generations that you're doing. I have to ask, you're involved in music in some way, right? And Igdwell shared a couple of tracks that he's produced with me, and they are bangers. So go into Secret Tower and pressure Igdwell to share his work. It's really good.
Yes, I second that pressure campaign. Igdwell, share your fantasy phonics. Okay, Jason DeSante continues with Daily Dancing Wizzy Vizzy Viddies, number 58. Yeah, Jason, I want to see the little guy that Ian made for you dancing. He needs to be in all of these.
Ooh, yeah.
Meeple Dad continues with Riddles in the Dark, day 226. And then Magic Monday news rounding out the end of the Chronicle. It looks like Ivan E. Loyola was the special guest last week. And I guess that's it. Does anybody else have anything more to add?
Yeah, real quick, we're raiding the Discord. If you guys want to keep the party going, head over to the Discord. We're going to be showcasing some warriors that will be quote unquote unlocked from the DAO vault going into the playtest. So that's what we're going to be talking about. We're planning some auctions for the DAO, and there are some legendary warriors in the DAO vault. So if you guys want to get some sneak peeks on them, roll by the Discord.
Awesome, Bridge. That's good
Super
to know. Dude, I love that you keep the party going in the Discord after Wizard Wednesday.
It is really cool. I love this new plan. It's good.
Yep. Okay. Anyone else?
I was going to read some lore, but I think I'll do just lightning fast DAO share updates for everybody, and then you can bug Bridge about it more. The DAO is really having a blast. So we just onboarded 3 new members, myself, Bridge, and DeFi, and we're just getting our wheels on. It's been a lot of fun. The Bread Friend proposal will be going live for vote soon. So if you want that plushy Bread Friend, you're going to have to vote yes for that one. And then Treasure Trove, we already talked about. The Ministry of Art is open and ready for August submission. So if you want to commission some work for your Wizzies, Warriors, Souls, Ponies, etc., you can apply for a Ministry of Art grant. And that is, you just get free money to pay somebody to make artwork of your characters. It's the best.
It's free.
It's free. And then to support the freeness, we need to do fundraising for the DAO, which Bridge will give us more details about in the future in that Discord raid. So head on over there and let's keep the party going. I'll read lore next week.
Come back next week, Meeple. I just love. It seems like the DAO is really cooking lately. There's so much happening with the DAO these days.
Not actually free. Terms and limitations apply. Thanks. Bye.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, I think that's about it for today. HP, can you fire it up?
Let's get it.
Man, I love that you're the host these days. It makes my life so much easier. Okay, this has been Elf, Bear, Entropy, Maddow, Bridge, Meeple Dad, Wild Mage, Jiho, Ronin, Forgotten Runes, Wizards, Warriors, Souls, channeling out from the Quantum Downs.
Bye,
See you,
everyone.
everybody.
Channeling from the
GNG.
Quantum Downs. It's Wizard Wednesday. It's Wizard Wednesday. Black Goat Elf, Dotta Puppet too. Bearsnake by the ocean blue. It's Wizard Wednesday. It's Wizard Wednesday. Kobolds and Dream Masters soar, putting their rune on the door. It's Wizard Wednesday forevermore. Wizard Wednesday, lore at the core. We are a cult with a world of our own, never forgotten or magic is known. It's Wizard Wednesday, it's Wizard Wednesday. Let's read from the book of lore, legendary wizards at the core. Don't get lost in the quantum shadow, abracadabra is our magical manifesto. Wednesday. It's Wizard Wednesday. Eat a donut, set your soul on fire. The sacred flame on a funeral pyre. The seventh gate with golden locks. The nightmare imp with a treat box. It's Wizard Wednesday. It's Wizard Wednesday. Wednesday.
It takes a wizard to wield magic. It takes a wizard to remember. It takes a wizard to resurrect a forgotten Runeverse.
Yes!